Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be covering the Fallout TV show that just got put out on Amazon Prime. And I don't normally talk about TV shows, but I feel like this one is definitely something we should cover since it's, video game related. Don't worry though, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you guys have not seen it already, you're not going to have to worry about getting anything spoiled in this video. However, do keep in mind, I will be putting out a video a little bit later where we're going to be doing a deep dive into the TV show and discussing everything spoiler related, the Easter eggs, and potentially what's going to be happening for season 2. But real quick before we begin, if you guys are intrigued by this video or you just want to see more amazing content like this in the future, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Joining our community means you'll always be one of the first to get our latest videos, all designed to help you be entertained, excited, and informed. Okay, so initial thoughts here. This show is amazing. I was definitely a little worried going into this one because, when it comes to video game adaptations, it can be really hit or miss. And it seems like for the longest time, there was the video game curse where anytime someone tried to bring a video game medium into, onto the big screen, it was always just really bad and it didn't translate very well. There were a few exceptions along the way. Basically, more recently, the main exceptions here is things like Arcane from League of Legends or Castlevania, which are all amazing by the way. But for the most part, I kind of feel like those were outliers. The other big one was I was kind of worried because it's an Amazon Prime show and I feel like Amazon Prime is very hit or miss with, if a show's good or not. I mean, just look at The Rings of Power. But anyways, back to the Fallout show. So I think for me, the biggest thing that kind of struck me was just the sheer amount of attention to detail there is with this show. When it came to the set pieces, just like walking through the vaults and things like that, I mean, it looks like it's straight from Fallout 4, which is kind of crazy. And then obviously with, different props and accessories kind of scattered in the scenes, it literally looks like all the objects from the Fallout games, which is just really cool and it was a great touch. When it comes to characters, I think Walton Goggins playing as the Ghoul, for me, stole the show. He did a really good job of playing this like bounty hunter type character that you just love to hate. There were so many different scenarios or things that he would do in the show that you just watched him do it and you just got so pissed off. But pissed off in a good way. And the things that he does in the show, it just kind of makes you reflect and realize like, yeah, this dude's been through some stuff. And it's really hard to kind of get into the specifics with his character without, doing any spoilers, which obviously I'm not going to do, but I'm just going to say that the way that they shoot certain scenes with him in it's really cool. And it really gives you this awesome view of the world of Fallout that we really don't get to see when we're playing a video game. Another thing that I thought they did really good with the show was they did a really good job of just trying to capture that sheer craziness and wonkiness of the Fallout universe. The supporting characters or just some of the other minor people in this show, the stuff that they do in the show itself is just crazy. And it kind of shocked me with some of the things and some of the themes that they cover with the show. But at the end of the day, I'm really glad they did because it just kind of portrays this world as this super harsh and just crazy place. And again, it's really hard to kind of get into what I'm talking about here, but I will just say it as this. This is definitely a show you do not want to watch with your kids or grandma. Another thing that really took me by surprise with this show was that the overall story of the characters and just the show in general was actually really interesting and engaging for me. I feel like the quality of the writing for this show, for me personally, felt like Westworld season 1 or something along those lines. But either way, what I'm trying to get at is the writing in the show is actually really good. Now, of course, it's not perfect. There are some pretty cheesy lines or there are some kind of things that the characters say to each other that just really don't make sense. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to give the show a benefit of the doubt in these situations because of just the overall quality of the show itself. And again, not to get into spoilers, but the last 30 seconds of the show has me super hyped for season 2. If you are a fan of the Fallout series or you played any of the games and you see that ending, trust me, you're going to be as hyped as I am after you see it. So now let's talk about some of the negatives that I had with the show. I think for me personally, the big one that I had is that Aaron Clifton and Ella Purnell, both actors that play Maximus and Lucy in the show, I feel like were kind of boring. Or I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like their presence in the show was not nearly as good as, let's say, Walton Goggins that played as the Ghoul. I just feel like there were a lot of different scenarios or situations where, you know, these two characters should have been portraying more emotion, but they just had this like blank look on their face. Another thing that I didn't really like was the portrayal of the Brotherhood of Steel. Again, I can't get into spoilers here, so I'll just leave it as this and just say that certain characters I feel like acted way out of character as what you would expect from, you know, being a Brotherhood of Steel member. And then also, I will say that the T-60 power armor did look amazing, but there were certain shots, especially with the character that played Maximus, when he was walking or doing things, you can kind of tell that it just looked really clunky and just kind of looked like a guy was wearing a cosplay outfit, essentially. But either way, out of those small gripes that I had with the show, I still think it was really good. And I would say if I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10 score, I would say this is going to be a 9 out of 10 for me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you guys are a Fallout fan, or you just like kind of like sci-fi type shows, either way, this show is amazing and you definitely should check it out. And that's what we're going to call it for today. If you got this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I'm still Solo, and I'll see you all in the next one.